Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Appreciate you coming out. Happy Sat Turd Day. We have a turd festival for you today on Saturday. So I had grabbed this Troy-Bilt out of my to-do pile. I got the info on these. That Troy-Bilt is I'm not sure of the year. It's a TB110 21-inch 140cc. It's 2021 on the Troy-Bilt. Notice that the blade was bent and the adapter was split in half. But when I had it over on its side to peek underneath, I noticed a lot of metal here missing. This attachment point is cracked through the deck and it's also enlarged. This one over here, nothing wrong with it. So I kind of looked around for another deck. The engine might be good. What I'll do is check the keyway to make sure that the adapter took the full force of the strike. You can see this side right here hit something. So what else? So yeah, 140cc 21-inch, probably a 550E. And it's got the high rear wheels. So this was my deck donor. This here is a 2012 MTD 140cc, probably a 550E on this 21-inch cut. It was complete. Blade looks fine, it's just rusty. So the deal with this thing is I had been through it before. Yeah, it's a 550E. And I had spray painted the exhaust and the flywheel. That means the engine shot. It's got the straight pawl system on the recoil. So I marked this one dead. But I looked at the deck and it looked fine. So I've already been working on this thing. So I used some of my 50/50 acetone ATF. I oiled up or lubricated the bolts on both engines. So what I wanted to do is use this deck, but I didn't really care for the front end. I could spray paint that black, I guess, but the lower rear wheel here, I wanted the rear end and front end of the Troy-Bilt. So I kind of did some separation here. This front end that's marked Troy-Bilt and the high rear wheels are going to go over to this MTD deck. I'll get more money for a high wheeler and I'll save this MTD setup here for something else. So once the deck is done, we got work to do on the deck. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. I'll throw the engine on there and go to work on checking out the engine. So that's the Turd Festival. Kind of went through on both safety brake cables, oiled those up. So that's the one I'm going to be using, but this will be a backup if I need one for another project. I got a free and clear cable ready to go with the front end. So let's move this MTD deck over to my table, and I'll show you what I've been doing. I kind of staged all this stuff so you could see what was happening. Both decks are exactly the same. They have the same 5 holes in the front for your front mount, and then they have the 6 holes for the rear. So these can jump between Boland's MTD, any MTD product, Boland's Yard Machine, Troy-Bilt. So let me get you over here. I'm gonna have to clean up the deck. Some oil came out of that machine, out of the valve cover. I had the valve cover off to check something, and it puked some oil here. So I'm gonna wipe that off, show you what I've been doing. So mess with this project. I did a couple of the little projects earlier. So I got some gas in a rag. I've already spent a couple hours on this thing, sanding it down. After I'm done with you, I may bring it over to the garden hose and use some Dawn, give it one last clean down before I OSFO it. And then start on it tomorrow when it's dried overnight. Okay, that looks acceptable. No, we got some oil came through the water drain hole. Yeah, I'll probably soap and water this one more time, because the OSFO or etch and prep isn't going to like that engine oil. So basically I use the heavy duty sandpaper, the German stuff. I got a box of sandpaper from a yard sale. The guy was a woodworker and it was all German paper, really heavy duty. So I got rid of all the scaly stuff underneath. Came over to the top, got rid of all the flaky stuff here under the front end. I'm not so worried about down in here, but up here on the top where I need to have a smooth surface, it's been sanded. And not really worried about getting this stuff, some of this deep stuff. It's going to stay. That's what the OSFO is going to do, is seal this. So I'll show you what I got. I used to buy OSFO at Lowe's and Home Depot. They don't carry it there. You can order it through the Big Jungle, or I think Ace Hardware has it on the shelves. But I got an alternative. This clean strip. They used to have a product before this. It was etch and prep, and then they went to this concrete and metal prep is what they call it. I guess to try to sell more of it because they got concrete in the title. So trying to read what the acid is. It's like 2% acid and the rest is water. I used to know. I've done a couple other videos on this stuff. Oh, phosphoric acid. Don't drink it. Avoid eye contact. So the majority of it is water. So it goes on with the brush like water. So you just use a clean container, put a little bit in a container to start because you don't pour this back in. You contaminate the jug. Pour a little in a container you think you're going to need to do the job, and then just brush it on. It goes on like water. You don't need a whole lot. You could do all of this with one brush stroke on this side. It's not thick like paint. So let it dry 24 hours after you use the phosphoric acid on it. And then you're ready to prime and paint. A couple weeks back, Scrapper showed up. He had 2 boxes of Rust-Oleum paint. He did a clean out. The guy did auto restoration. So he had some sandpaper that I didn't need, but I bought a box, 6 cans of gloss apple red for $5, 6 cans for $5. So I'm going to be able to use that on this. There won't be any need to blend in because I'm going to do the whole thing one color. It's not like I'm trying to match paint, 15-year-old paint that's been sun baked. It's going to get primed and painted. So what else? That's basically it. So this will be a multi-day project. What I was doing earlier is getting rough stuff, then I'd wash it off and then see more flaking around. So then I'd do more sanding. Wash it off and then come back and look for more bubbling. I'm not worried about what's in this area as far as peeling paint because this is going to be covered with the engine, but it's going to be sealed with the etch and prime, a prime and etch. So this is like a huge deal. Usually I don't take much time and do body work, so to speak. I just clean carbs and replace brake cables and stuff. So this kind of work here slows you down. It's not low-hanging fruit like my buddy Matt, who's the vintage 2-cycle motorcycle guru of Manatee County, Holmes Beach, Oneiko, Samoset, Lakewood Ranch, Mayaca City, in Anna Maria Island would say. Go for the low-hanging fruit. This is a big job on this because I have a crap load of mowers, and so this kind of slows me down doing this restoration body work. I could be doing something else with my time, being more productive. I've spent all afternoon messing with this. Had breakfast with my son this morning. That was good. Like I said, I've been through this already, but it's just like painting a car. You always see something you missed. Oh, this whole area here just peeled up. At some point, you just got to call it a day. It's just a stupid lawnmower. It's a turd festival, and you don't have to be exact on a turd festival. So in that same box, there was some fine sandpaper. So I've already been through some of the areas and used fine paper to blend in the bare metal with the paint that's remaining. So there's no canyon. So I'll concentrate those areas with primer, do the fill on the bare metal, not concentrate on the painted stuff as much. Maybe on the first pass do the bare metal, then second pass do the whole thing. Here I said don't do any more, and I found a couple of rust pockets right here. Somebody's going to get a beautified mower that says Troy-Bilt on the front of it. I got to look for a recoil. I don't have a recoil for this. I do for the MTD. Maybe no, I can't use that one. It's a straight pawl. Okay, you get the big idea. Okay, I'm happy. Happy Pappy. So what I like to do when I'm sanding I like to get the edge, wherever there's an edge, I like to get that down to bare metal. That way I can prime it, and then the top coat's gonna stick a little bit better. Wherever there's an edge, I try to get it down to bare metal like that, so the primer has something to stick to. So I'll keep you posted on this. I didn't really mess with up under the trap door here. There's some rust and some damage. I'm not going to remove that and sand underneath it. I'm just going to bypass it. This is addictive. Four-door landscaping truck. Crew out working. Okay. I'm done. That's my update. Thanks for coming out on Sat Turd Day. If you have any questions or concerns, you can email me. Tommy.time@Yahoo is my email address. Tommy.time@Yahoo. Thanks you guys. Just a turd update on Saturday. Thanks for coming out. Tip your waitress and wait staff. Have a good day today. Adios, amigos.